Hello, my name is Jerry Durham, and welcome back to the SME Selling Series. This is a continuation. If you haven't seen the other videos, I don't know if you need to go back and start. I'd recommend you go back and start with those videos because what I'm trying to do is build up to this actual conversation, this selling conversation. And although most of the people want the how to do it, I have found more success when we start with the why and the what to do. Okay. And so that's what the first set of videos were. So if you drop straight into this video, there's going to probably be a lot of confusion and a lot of, I already know that or I already do that. But without the context, that's what you'll think. With the context, it'll make more sense. So I want to set you up for success. I put these together in an order. So I would encourage you to go back and watch the earlier videos. And then there will be more value to the conversation that we're going to have today around selling at your front desk. So let's start with what I did was we did a Q&A webinar a few months back. And what I did was I went back through the questions as I was like, okay, it's time to get in the weeds. Let's talk to the front desk people and let's hear the problems they're having and let's talk about addressing those, right? In the context of the earlier videos. And so I want to read to you verbatim a question I got. And I don't have people's names. I wish I could meet this person because I love this question. And I want to preface this with, I bet if I could get on a Zoom call with this person and we reviewed this question, I bet they have all the answers. We just need to reframe it. And that's what I'm going to do today. Okay. Is I'm going to reframe this question because she hits all the points. I'm going to reframe it in the way that the questions that she asks answers, right? Answers the answers she already knows. Hi, Jerry and SME. I want to embrace this mindset, this selling mindset, front desk mindset. But I find myself quickly losing confidence when patients push back. If a patient calls to schedule, as soon as I mention the evaluation visit, they cut me off and say, wait, how much is this going to cost me? I don't want to commit until I know my insurance covers it. Great question. She goes deeper. As the front desk person, I freeze up. I want to stay patient focused like you taught, but I feel like if I redirect the conversation away from money, I'll sound pushy. On the other hand, if I just answer their insurance question right away, I feel like I've lost control of the conversation. By the way, that insight to the conversation is 99% of the success of all of this work. Acknowledging that is a number one. Here's the question she posted. What's the right way? She, don't you like that? Could have been a he. I've worked mostly with women, but there are men out there. So let's just say that they posted. What's the right way to handle that kind of discomfort so I sound professional, keep the conversation patient centered, and don't feel like I'm coming across as salesy? So again, I love this question. It's this acknowledgement, right? It's this ownership. It's this humility. Most PTs wouldn't do this. This is why I love working with the front desk people. They understand the process. They understand that there's got to be a better way to do it, but I can't do it that way. So again, huge kudos to the person who posted this question. And it's so thoughtful. And again, um, all of it's in there because they understand what the issue is. Again, understanding the why and the how is step one. Now we address this stuff. Cool. Let's get into the action, right? Let's get into the implementation of all that. And that's what this person is asking help for. So I want to highlight a couple phrases in this. Losing confidence, freeze up. If I redirect, I'll sound pushy. I feel like I lost control of the conversation. So all those are the key points. That, and again, the middle part where they acknowledge there's this dichotomy, right? I freeze up. I want to stay patient focused, but if I do, right, then I'll sound pushy. And then on the other hand, if I just go to the insurance side, then I feel like I've lost control of the conversation. And there is the key word of this video today is control. And all of this, for context, right? I answered the incoming calls into my business for a full year in and out of network clinic. And I just want to say that from the point that I had to dig a little deeper because this applies to an in-network clinic, out-of-network clinic, hybrid clinic, out-of-pocket clinic. But I had to dig a little deeper because I had to go, I can't just answer the phone, right? And answer the questions that are asked of me. Do you take my insurance? Because if I say no, they'll hang up and my business will close. So that's why I say I had to dig a little deeper. And really, what I found out was that structure that works for out of network is most successful for in network clinics. And I've actually had the biggest impact with this process with in network clinics because people get lazy and default to the yes or no insurance question, and then they automatically have lost control of the conversation, which again is mentioned in the question. And I keep pointing over here because I have the question pulled up. So this whole idea of losing confidence, freezing up. If I redirect, I'll sound pushy. If I feel like I've lost control of the conversation, right? So aim number one you have to write down is control, right? And you must maintain, and I'm going to give you the keys for this. So it's important you write this stuff down and look at the context of all this. You, in order to be successful in this first call, in this initial contact sales process, you must be in control at all times. And what I love is this question acknowledges that they feel like they've lost control, right? The way, now check this out because this is going to start to broaden out and answer multiple lines in this statement and question. The way you maintain control of this conversation from start to finish is this simple. I'm going to give you two things to do. I say it's simple. It is not easy, my friends. I sucked at this work early on, and I sucked at it for a long time early on. Eventually, we got around to it because I got people on the schedule who arrive, pay, and stay. But man, it was a journey. A lot of mistakes, a lot of mistakes. And a lot of this stuff has come on reflection. A lot of this stuff has come through sales training since then. And a lot of this stuff come from continuing to listen to new patient calls and working with front desk people on their processes and building in the 5-step process that I bring along with me, right, to this whole thing. So you must maintain control of the conversation from start to finish. It is simple to maintain control if you do these two things. If you acknowledge what you hear and you ask permission-based questions. So again, control is the big umbrella here. And underneath that, number one, I got to acknowledge during the whole conversation. And number two, I need to ask permission-based questions. And what's cool is this really comes up. I don't want to sound pushy. Just acknowledge what you hear first. When I redirect, there's another word, redirect. Redirect's a good word, but it's like this word, and you're like, how do I do it? Because by the way, and I have a feeling this is what this person talks about. Too many people I've seen teach this stuff go, okay, and then you got to redirect, and they teach you how to talk around it. That's lack of acknowledgement. We're going to take this straight on. I had this saying, because really what this question is asking me is how do I handle objections? And I get this a lot. Jerry, can you help my team and train my team in front desk sales in how to handle objections? I'm like, my goal is to get less objections. And the way we do that is maintain control of the conversation, acknowledge and ask permission-based questions. Because if we ask permission-based questions, and by the way, permission-based questions are yes and no questions. If I ask a permission-based question like this, hey, how much is it going to cost? I don't want to commit to anything till I know my insurance covers it, right? Let me give you an example. I say, hello, Jerry, in case you missed it, right? The patient's name is Jerry. I'm going to flip it here. Hello, Jerry, in case you missed it. My name's Bill, and I'm more than happy to answer all your insurance questions for you. And actually, I have a team that will check your insurance benefits, and I can get you your costs and your insurance info all before you arrive. Is that something you are looking for? That's a yes or no. Yes, that sounds great, Jerry. Yes, so now I know I can go that direction. If they go, no, I want my cost today or something like that, I know what direction to go. So these permission-based questions are set up in a manner that you're prepared to go down the yes or no route. Because then this person, let's talk about redirect. I cannot do the next thing without doing what I just did, which saying, Jerry, I know insurance is important to you. I know that your coverage is important to you. So here's what I'm going to do for you. Is that something you're looking for? Yes. Only by asking that question can I then go into the next permission-based question, which is, so Jerry, can I get this insurance information at the end of this call, right? And deliver back your benefits like I promised after I learn more about you and why you called us today and what problem you're looking to solve? Because I want to make sure I have the right expert for you and we're the best fit for you. And then we'll talk about getting your cost. Will that work for you? Yes or no? If you say yes, cool. We go down the 5-step process. If you go no, I go, cool. Do you have your insurance card? Right? So you can't lose on this. There is no pushy, right? There is no, by the way, I'm asking for a redirect. You know what's funny? I'm asking for the redirect without saying that out loud, right? So the way I redirect is I ask for permission to redirect. By what? Acknowledging. See how that all comes together? This is the structure, right? So there is a structure and a process that has to be followed. And this is it. And this is where it all starts. So this whole question, roll this video back and listen to the whole statement again in question because it's beautiful. It's all in there. And I bet you if I was sitting next to this person who wrote this and I asked them some more leading questions like, what feels pushy? What's redirect mean to you? She'd go changing the subject. She, apologize. They would say changing the subject. And I go, cool. How can we do that? So again, through questioning, I guarantee you this person would have come to what I just told you. I need to maintain control. As I said, they feel like they lose control. And you do it by acknowledgement. So the big key here is the acknowledgement. Hey, Jerry, right? I hear you. And repeating it back. And by the way, even when someone says, hi, my name's Jerry, I have low back pain, I want to schedule physical therapy, you still acknowledge at the beginning of the conversation. It says you're listening. And when you tell people you're listening, then they're more likely to go the direction you want. Hi, my name's Jerry. I have some low back pain. I want to get scheduled for physical therapy. Hello, Jerry. In case you missed it, my name's Bill. So sorry to hear you have low back pain, yet I'm glad you called us here at ABC Physiotherapy because we help a lot of people with low back pain. Jerry, here's what I'd like to do next. By the way, that's a little social proof at the beginning so they know they called the right place. So there's a structure here, and it all has to start with acknowledgement. And the acknowledgement winds its way through this whole conversation. And then with the acknowledgement, and what else winds its way through is this permission-based questioning. So you're never pushy. You're always in control. The questions you ask put you in control. So by asking that permission-based question, they're going to say yes or no. You know what direction to go. You're in control. Control through acknowledgement, through permission-based questions. And with that example I gave you, this person, by the way, I learned this the hard way. I'm like, people just want to know their cost. When I started doing this, I'm going to tell you right now. And remember, people are asking, do you take my insurance? What's my cost going to be? Are you in network? I got 80% plus of these people to agree to the conversation and get their insurance at the end. So the proof is in the process. Mind you, I had to tweak that process, but by the end, 80% of the people are going, yeah, sure, that's great. I acknowledge and told you you'll get your costs. But then I told you I want to learn more about you, and then I'll get you your costs. Because again, we also, I'm not going to do it today, but we have to go into why do people lead with what's my cost? Do they even know what they're buying? So you have to maintain control of this conversation so you can sell value before price. So you can take them down this conversation. You can control the conversation, take them through a structured conversation to sell value. That means you know their problem, and then you're going to align them with the expert that can help them with that problem. And then you're going to give them a cost, and then they're going to make a decision. Cheers. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate this question. I hope I get to meet this person because I would love to bring them back on here and go through this question and answer because the statement I made at the beginning, I believe to be true with some questions, they would have taken us to all these answers. So you need to maintain control. You do that through acknowledgement and permission-based questions throughout the process. And this needs to be structured and done the same way every time. That's how you will gain confidence. You have to let go of this fear of, oh my God, And I'm going to tell you the way to let go of that is that permission-based question, because you never are taking someone in a direction they don't want to go. Cheers all.